Hi, and welcome to the ATS podcast with me, Will Brown, and John Soulsby, where we break down chunks of health and fitness information into bite sized pieces, remove a bunch of the noise, and just leave what's relevant. Today we are on episode 20, which is going to be with our topic essentially how to train and eat over the festive period, Christmas, New Year, the kind of pitfalls, the do's and don'ts. But first, we're going to lead in with an incredibly contentious off topic, I imagine, which is the top three and bottom three Christmas foods for each of us.
Yeah. So we'll start with the bad and then go to the good, I think.
It's fair.
Bottom three, number one place, Brussels sprouts. They're shite. Get them off the table. Uh, they're terrible. The only time someone's ever told me that they're good is when they have pancetta in it. I'm like, just make bacon.
Yep. You are kind of hiding food with other food to make it better.
Yeah.
You're like, doesn't really do
It's
much
like
for it.
you've taken this terrible mini cabbage and added bacon to it, so it's acceptable.
See, I actually quite rate a sprout, but then again, I
That's
feel like
fine.
this is what everyone
But
does, where they're like, but I cook them differently, and you're like, yes, very good. I feel
in,
like
in butter
if
and bacon fat.
I was about to say, if you roast them in like just a mixed veg tray, like I don't see why they're a thing all of their own. Like you can do a bunch of different like winter veg. There's tons of good winter veg kicking about.
Yep.
You can mix them in, but also please don't boil them. I don't know why the fuck people do this.
Yeah. Yeah, just straight up like boiled sprouts. Oh, nah.
I,
I
I
remember the last time I had to eat Brussels sprouts at Christmas was great because it was at my granny's house when I was about 8 years old and I was being forced to have my Brussels sprouts. And I finally clicked onto the fact that dad wasn't eating his. And
so
I
you
was
could just
just
jump on that
like,
bus.
but why doesn't dad have to eat his? I'm not eating mine unless he eats his. And I was obviously just like, dad was like, well, then he's not eating Brussels sprouts because I'm not doing it.
Yep.
I'm like, yes,
Correct.
yes.
Align with Brussels sprout NATO immediately.
Yeah.
Two more on the worst side.
Oh, worst. Um, I don't really know. Worst. So it's not actually bad, but the fact that you have to have turkey every year is just
Yeah, I feel
the
like
fact that
people.
it's always there.
People take that a bit too written in stone.
Yeah. Um, like it is good. It can be cooked well, but no, it doesn't have to be there all the time. Another worst one. I'm currently all out of more work, like bad ones.
Well, unsurprisingly, as someone who's opinionated about food, I have mine fucking absolutely locked and loaded.
You
Uh,
go for your three, and I might have another bottom one.
yeah, my bottom three absolutely worst foods at Christmas specifically. Number one is boiled tatties. Not tatties in general, but boiled tatties. They're the worst. Stop boiling them. Like it's the laziest thing to do with tatties. Like it literally precedes every other method of cooking tatties. Just fucking finish it. Like, oh, it does my nut.
It, in fairness, yeah, because I wouldn't expect boiled potatoes on Christmas dinner. If I go round to dad's this Christmas and he puts boiled potatoes on the table, I'm
Because you
sending them
get, yeah,
back.
you usually get roast potatoes, right?
Yeah, they're getting sent back to the kitchen.
Correct. Like that's the actual way to cook potatoes at Christmas. But quite a few
Yeah,
people I am aware of boil potatoes, and I'm like, that is
yeah.
disgusting. Get them in the
Just
bin.
just buy, yeah, just make your life easier and
Just
buy
buy
chips
chips.
or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just you
exactly.
might as
Yeah,
well. Like you just can't be fucked roasting them. Like there's tons of other stuff you could do. Like yeah,
yeah,
you don't have to like, you don't have to have a fucking oh what are they like en fondant or anything. Like you don't have to do that
no.
fancy. Um, what's my other one? Boiled carrots, or even again just carrots in general. Not a super wintry food. Not keen. Also, nobody does anything to them. It's literally just straight carrots. I'm like, bruh. I was like,
We
if
will be having boiled carrots on Christmas Day,
I'm
so
like, ugh,
I'll let you know.
it's just like why? It's like this should like Christmas I feel should be more than a carvery. Like if you want if you just want straight boiled tatties and carrots, just go to a Toby Carvery. Great on the cut life. Amazing if you're like not looking to indulge that much.
Yeah,
Um, other bottom one, turkey. I think turkey is. I mean, given that we don't eat it any other time in the year, pretty much tells you everything.
yeah.
It's not like there's some weird American thing on Thanksgiving where they like deep fry it. I've seen that. That's mental. It's also one of the
That's like slightly different as well. You're actually like deep frying it.
oh yeah, like it
So it's
requires
like,
some sort of big fucking crane thing because it's obviously large.
yeah,
They dip them in these like giant buckets of boiling oil. I'm like, I can see why this leads to so many house fires.
oh
But apparently it cooks it rapid. Like you can cook a turkey in like an hour rather than like 6.
yeah.
Yeah, don't not super not mega keen on turkeys. Number one, people don't do anything with it. Number two, people usually overcook it, so it ends up being absolute cardboard, and you need to essentially just eat gravy with turkey attached in order
Yeah.
to for it to be chokeable. Yeah, I've like very rarely seen people actually stuff their bird with anything, which makes me very sad because that's how you can prevent said dryingness.
Yeah.
You have another third bottom one.
Um. Nah, I would just be picking something that's just not like not the best.
To be
So
fair, another bottom one for me is mince pies. Not a
I
fan.
hate mince pie. No.
Not a fan because it's not got mince in it. It's a complete lie. I know that's the whole joke. It's like,
Yeah.
instead of like instead of meat, it's actually fruit. Well, joke's on you, economy. Like, look how it's fucking expensive it is now for fruit. Like, mince
Yeah.
pies are it'd be easier and cheaper if they were the other way around.
Although a mince pie would be sad if it was just minced beef and pastry.
I don't know.
Mayonnaise.
That's pretty
That
lit.
would be
You
sad.
fucking you spice that up. You flavor it a bunch.
Not true.
New Zealand had fucking butter chicken curry and pies. That was a fucking revolution.
That
Never seen that
would be
before, and that was
that'd be pretty mint.
great.
Um,
Top three.
well, easy. Number one, pigs in blankets.
It's a great shout.
Number two, roast potatoes.
Roasted in what?
Oh, it has to be in like duck fat or goose fat or something.
Hmm.
Yeah, like good roast potatoes. And number three, this is more of a food group than anything specific, but cheese.
Cheese. A food group. It's an essential
Uh,
part of the food pyramid. Is just cheese.
it's the base, yeah.
Yeah, it is the base.
um, but yeah, um, cheese or baked cheese, all types of cheese, great.
That's fair. Even blue cheese. I don't think you were that keen on blue cheese.
Not that keen, but I'm not going to discriminate.
That's fair.
Um,
That's fair.
yeah, I'm just not that a big fan of like blue cheese on a cheese board. For me, it's quite often a little overpowering, but a little bit of blue cheese is all right.
That's fair. I very much inherited Talker's. She has a similar vibe on fish, whereas if it's white fish, what's the fucking point? Because it doesn't taste like anything. Like it needs to actually taste fishy. I'm pretty much the
Yeah,
same with cheese. Of like anything that starts with the M word, I'm like, nah, fuck it, get in the bin. Like it needs to be offensively smelling cheese.
yeah.
Big
Oh,
around it,
that's like kind of there, but
Mellis and
Mellis.
Muse. Yeah, Mellis and Muse had, George Muse specifically had one that I imagine they make themselves. It was called Blue Murder. I was like, sounds about right.
Yeah, yeah.
When it starts
Uh,
to be so blue it looks green, I'm like, yep, about
oh
right.
yeah, like I love a blue. I've had a blue murder risotto before. That was great. Um, like love blue cheese like in stuff more, but
Oh, then just straight.
just straight can sometimes just be a bit too much.
That's fair. We got some weird cheese. We did the rounds, and again, if I mean, pro tip for just life in general, if you go to like a specialty craft shop, again, can be anything: wine, beer, cheese, meat, delicatessens, whatever. If the people like, if it's a specialty thing, like a kind of not a chain shop, ask the people there like what they recommend and or what their weirdest thing is. Because they'll
Yeah,
have some stuff that you would have never have thought existed, and they will be quite happy to tell you about it and sell you it.
yeah.
And also, if you're just friendly to people, the likelihood that like if you're asking for like 100 grams of something and they measure you out 120, they just give you it for a 100 gram price is quite that is like
Oh yeah.
A little bit of that goes a long way. I think my top three. Oh, top three roast potatoes up there, great. Pretty much like S tier potatoes, especially if you do that thing where you shake them up after they're boiled so they get all like
Yep.
extra and then they get extra crispy. Great, big
Dad,
fan.
Dad does that. Nails the roast potato game.
Roast potatoes are S tier. What else is good? Stuffing of the right kind is also fantastic. Big fan. Um, and absolute wild card, Krushla.
Ah, yeah. I don't get any of that.
Another.
That
Well, I mean, you say that.
base sauce.
We'll be
Oh,
getting
it
you'll be
arrives
getting
at
a
the gym,
box
but like,
delivered.
but
It's
yeah,
currently
that
being
is
made downstairs, and it is currently
oh
overgrowing the kitchen.
yes.
Grujla, for people who don't know, is a very Italian family Christmas tradition where you essentially make up pasta dough as normal, I believe. Like it looks about as yellow as normal pasta dough, where
Mhm.
you just again you just mountain a bunch of flour in the middle of a table, carve like a volcano in it, and then just fill it with eggs and mix until pasta dough. You essentially roll out thicker than ravioli, but not super thick. Like maybe lasagna sheet kind of thickness. Pasta, and then cut it into strips, and then fold them into ribbons, and then deep fry them, and then cover them in confectioner sugar.
Yeah. It
So
there's nothing bad. Everything there's great.
yeah, yeah, it's like all the amazing food groups of carbs
Yeah.
deep fried and covered in more carbs.
Yeah.
It's pretty great. They're great with Nutella. They're great with Biscoff spread. All yeah, it's all good.
Oh, if we do get some, I might have to do a baked camembert with cruise. Oh my god.
That's a good idea. That is a solid shout.
Yes. Tough shit, Hoggy. Can't have anything.
Gluten all up in the camembert. Deal with it. Uh,
Oh,
actually
that's
getting
such a good idea.
big brain.
Yes.
See, you never. This podcast has been worth doing just for the ideas.
Just for this one idea.
The one idea that could be crucially dipped camembert. The actual topic, because again, we actually have to do something remotely
Before we go
useful
on
to
the
other
actual
people.
topic,
Uh
I
huh.
just thought of a throwback to what episode was it? Where we did Instagram memes,
Uh huh.
as in who is a meme on Instagram,
Yeah.
and therefore a helmet. And we spoke about how the Liver King is not natty.
Yeah.
Called it.
I mean, yeah. Like,
I mean, you say called
unsurprisingly,
it.
yeah. I was like, if anyone you know is actually the color of your passport, like, there's nothing good about that person.
Yeah.
Like, nothing good is going on inside that person. Their blood pressure is not good. Like,
It was episode 17, fitness social media memes, and Liver King was in there as an unnatty man.
oh, tremendous.
And that might have actually come out after, but it was recorded before it came out that he was on gear.
He's just
But
like
called it.
no one is naturally that red. Like when you see him holding up a bunch of like a big thing of liver on the Google image search, like he's wearing red shorts and he's holding a
Yeah.
literal liver and they all look kind of the same color. Like that's not cool.
Or if you are listening to this and you are naturally that red, go to your doctor
Get your blood pressure checked
now.
because guess what? If both numbers have 3 digits in them, it's not good.
No.
Like if your blood pressure and your powerlifting total are starting to look pretty close together, you need to probably get one of them checked. Either by
For me, it
us
might
or
be
by
my
your doctor.
powerlifting tool.
Yeah, either by us or by your
um,
doctor.
but yeah, so actual topic after I've derailed it again.
How to train and eat over the festive period.
Yeah,
Uh,
do's and do not.
I would say, I think the one that I talk to, again, there's a fine line because everything. I feel like social media leans a lot to the side of like, oh, just do whatever you want. Like, don't let society tell you what to do. Blah 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 blah. And it's like, I think I don't like again, erring on the side of we don't have an eating disorder epidemic. The NHS is not under complete crises by various problems that result of having an unhealthily underweight population
Mm-hmm.
circa post-war. Like back in the day, that actually was the problem back in the day because it was like, oh shit, everyone's actually starving to death. Like
Yeah,
people are malnourished. Let's put a bunch of minerals in the water so people don't, cop it. we have the opposite problem. So I'm gonna say that we probably are fine with the whole like people can probably decide when to eat and like when not to eat. I think my usual main bit of feedback is that Christmas Day does not start on the 2nd of December and finish on January 2nd.
Well, nah, you're totally right.
the the likelihood that if you are concerned about holiday weight gain, if you just don't start smashing the Terry's chocolate orange and Toblerones entire from about the 2nd of December right through to whenever you get back to work in January 2023, you'll probably be fine. I'm not saying you need to bring like I'm not the opposite is also true of like don't be worried about what you eat on Christmas Day or Boxing Day. Like it's just 2 days. Eat wherever you want, eat all the cheese. We've literally just spent ages fucking more than half the podcast gushing about the food that we like. But also, just don't go mental and eat for the entire month of Christmas like it's the 25th of December. Like
Yeah.
another tip would be, I think one that I hear a lot from people is that they go to work socials a lot of the time. Loads of people have Christmas parties, they have their friends are back in town, they're meeting up, they're doing drinks, they're doing house parties, whatever it is. I would specifically relating to work ones. Don't feel like you have to oblige people you might not even like. Like you genuinely might like your colleagues and have a great time with them, and that's fine. But if you work in a very large office, you don't really have any work friends bar like maybe one or two people that you get on with, and everyone else you just kind of tolerate. It's not a proper social function. Like if you punch someone and get fired from your job, that's not social. That's a work thing. Like
Yeah.
if you do it on the Christmas night out and get fired, it's not a social event. It's a work thing. So just treat it like it's any day in the office. Don't sacrifice any potential progress you have made with your nutrition or training for people you don't even like.
Yeah. Totally. Training wise, I suppose, like from an actual having to get in the gym point of view, I think like it is a super busy time of year. You
Hmm.
can still make time for your training, but well, I mean, I literally sent it to you today. But also, like a lot of people worry that you'll lose all your progress by not going to the gym for a week or two over Christmas, and that's not true.
Yeah, you
Um,
can hang on to quite a lot of progress and not lose any, even on a very reduced schedule.
yeah, yeah, it was a study I sent you today from someone on Instagram that we saw, and they got people to train for 16 weeks and then do a variation of either 33%, 11%, or no training for another, like, I think it was like 30 weeks or something. And as long as you did 11% of training, they kept their gains for like 30 weeks and even saw some slight improvement.
Yeah, hashtag lease
So,
mode is the way forward.
yeah. So, like, over the Christmas period, like, well, we're just before Christmas for us, but like the next couple of weeks, if you just do like literally 10% of your training every week, you'll be fine.
Yeah, and it's also a couple of
So don't
weeks
worry about it.
whilst
Yeah, yeah,
you're
not
away seeing
30.
family. It's not like months. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
literal months of training. Like
yeah,
that could sign that could literally fucking summarize my training since I don't know 2017. Just
yeah,
11% of what I could usually be bothered doing when I try.
yeah.
The Yeah, that's pretty good. Running up on time, so we are going to call it here, and we'll see you in the next
Yep.
episode.
See you in the next one.